South, yeah, 7 days south.
This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com, and I am on my way to Tucson, Arizona with UFC Hall of Famer, former UFC champion, former WWE superstar, Dan the Beast Severn, and we're going there to meet Don Fry and Rob Schneider, who is an actor and comedian. And this is for the new podcast that Mr. Severn and Mr. Fry are putting together. So maybe, Dan, you could tell us a bit about this project.
Well, I'd just say it's still a work in progress. We've got we have a few different interviews already. And I think just starting to put a couple little snippets out here and there. It's not ready for a full launch yet, but we're kind of getting our feet wet and getting our wings underneath us. So it'll come about here eventually. I mean, Don, the Predator Fry, from the Ultimate Fighting Championships, but Don also has a professional wrestling pedigree along with his amateur wrestling pedigree, along with the boxing pedigree. So he's and Don has been involved in one of the most
use the right lane to keep right onto State Route 79 south toward Florence.
Feud mixed martial arts matches ever, and that was when Don Fry and Takayama, his Japanese opponent, faced each other, and it was just non-stop,
keep right,
punching each other in the face. It was almost like a game of
in
chicken.
half a mile, turn right onto Canal Pioneer Parkway.
It was almost like a game of chicken of two guys coming towards each other, but they're literally to the point. They come out, the referee says to fight.
At the stop sign,
they came right out of their corners. They came right out of their corners, and they're just throwing punch after punch after punch to point that they're toe to toe. They even have reached up and have what's known as a collar tie. They're more than actually hooking the back of each other's head, and they're just punching each other, and you could almost see
58 miles. Continue straight.
You can always see the mindset, and in this crazy mindset, you've got Takayama punching Don Fry in the face. It's kind of like, I'm punching in the face, so why don't you stop, you son of a bitch? And Don Fry is like, well, no, I'm gonna turn right around. I'm gonna keep punching you in the face until you stop, you son of a bitch. So it's kind of like going. Wow, I'll just say that the crowd was thoroughly entertained, and if you show that video clip to anyone brand new that has never seen it before, they are just in awe seeing that clip. So it was a tough. I didn't see that clip until several months after the fight had been taking place, and after I finally saw the clip, I had to call Don up, and basically now it's, call it the coach in me, the surrogate father, whatever you want to say there. But I'm like going, I'm almost scolded Don. I'm like, Don, what was going through your mind other than Takayama's fist? That's not the way that you should be fighting. And he's like, Severn, again, I can't do the voice of Don Fry, but he just, he thought I was being I was pussyfooting around issues when you should just gotta step out there and just start, let a man know that you're there by just punching him in the face there. A couple, I don't know, I get ready to say a couple hundred times. I don't think it was a couple hundred times, but I mean, it was pretty close as to how many times they punched each other in the face. And when you look at the duration of the match, how many more additional times they got punched, elbowed, kneed, kicked. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. And now I don't even remember what the question was.
Well, there's a fan question that wants to know, if you were still in your prime, how do you think you would do against current UFC heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic?
The UFC never saw me in my prime period. So that's all I will say. When I'll say I was probably at my most, call it my dangerous or at my prime, however I want to say that, but I would say that from 1984 to 1986, for that couple year period of time, I was I was off the chart in my prime. Why I say it like that? Because I would have retired after 1984 had everything gone right for me in my amateur wrestling career, my freestyle wrestling career. I would have been the Olympic representative, and I would have won the Olympic gold medal. But because things didn't go right for me, and I was the alternate, and I had to sit back and watch the gentleman who was ahead of me win the gold medal. He did not give up a single point. Everybody that he wrestled, I had pinned in under 1 minute. That was at the 220-pound weight class. Even at, because I was bouncing between 220, I was a big 220-pounder, and bouncing between the 220-pound weight class and also the heavyweight weight class. And Bruce Baumgartner was the American Olympic representative, and everybody that he wrestled at heavyweight, I had pinned in underneath 1 minute. So literally, I could have won a gold medal at either the 220-pound weight class or at heavyweight. But instead, I had to sit up in the bleachers and kind of watch it all, and it's kind of infuriated me a great deal to where I had to perform my own kind of medical exorcism at the expense of some of my opponents. You know, just the reality is that okay, I'll just say I had to. Yeah, I ended a few people's careers in amateur wrestling because I knew the point of how far can a shoulder socket go, how far can a knee go, and it was I was pissed. I was pissed at the injustice that happened to me, and I kind of pushed the envelope on a few different individuals and punished them for really what I should have been punishing people in an authoritative type of position did not do their job. So, had I been involved in mixed martial arts during that time period, no doubt in my mind, I would have destroyed anybody and everybody that would have stepped inside of a cage with me, because I have time proven over multiple decades, not just a couple matches here or there. One day when people, really historians, really delve deeply into some people's careers, you're going to see someone emerge that they will be befuddled as to how many thousands, plural, of matches that I have had between a folk style career, freestyle wrestling career, Greco-Roman wrestling career, then throw in judo, sambo, tough mid contests, and you start throwing in stuff with the UWFI, professional wrestling. I wouldn't begin to speculate, but you know, I could say, you could say 3,000 plus, 4,000 plus, I don't know, maybe even 5,000 plus. Just do the math. In high school alone, I was getting 50 matches average during a high school wrestling season. Then in the spring, summer, and fall, I'm doing my freestyle, my Greco. I'm averaging over an additional 100 matches. You do that after going through your high school career into a collegiate career, even during my coaching career. Do that for a few different decades. Do the math. If I even came close, or even starting to think of 50% of those, do the math. I don't even know. I wouldn't begin to speculate, but I'm sure if I start going through my photo albums and start counting up all the various trophies I have, I could get within a few hundred.
Victor wants to know, how serious were you you about sabotaging the Royal Rumble 1999?
Oh, how serious I was. Well, very, very, very serious. I mean, but that's where, that's one of those things that if you could go back in time, I would like to replay that one. I mean, as it was, everything worked out fine for me. So, but it's kind of cool knowing that you are the trump card. You are the guy that could have made a huge difference, and so just the way that the whole Royal Rumble is orchestrated, you could have manipulated it perfectly. So parts of me would like to say, yeah, let's go back in time. But if I went back in time and did that, where would I be today? Would I be here answering this question for Victor? Don't know. I might be in a whole different spectrum, stratosphere. Who knows? I mean, so that's why I say that each of us chooses our own paths, and where that finally leads us to. I'm still looking at what's around the next bend for Dan Severn.
Equipped Triple X wants to know, what's the one strength you wished you'd had when you were fighting and didn't have?
It's one strength I wish I had. Huh. I'll just say that that's kind of an interesting question, because as a physically as a powerful athlete, the only thing I'm a little bit perplexed on how to answer that question, because I could go into so many different tangents. And I guess what was the gentleman's name?
Equipped Triple X.
Okay, well, that's kind of a strange Equipped Triple X, all right. First off, okay, Equipped Triple X. Find somebody who actually has a better record than what I have. When you look at how few of losses that I have, and then you look at starting a cage fighting career at 37, go for 20 years, being lifetime chemical free, doing only 2 true training camps, which I repeated myself as 32 days for UFC number 5, 35 days for the ultimate. Lifetime chemical free. When you start throwing those factors in there, find somebody else that even comes close to me. Again, I'm not trying to say to be braggadociously. I just want to say this matter of factly. It's you'll be hard to find anyone past and or present that can make that claim.
Fart Doctor is back on here. He wants to know.
Love that name.
He wants to know about the time you won 17 wrestling matches in one day.
Well, that was. Did he? I almost want to ask you a question. Did he actually see an interview about it, or did he read about it, or? But yeah, I'm sure it's going to be kind of tough to have that interaction. But yeah, I'll just say that I'll just tell a story. It was, I believe, probably my junior year in high school, where I was looking at different routes of how to go to college. I have seven other brothers and sisters. I'm second on the totem pole, second oldest. I have an older brother. Asking mom or dad for money to go to college never came into the equation because there was nobody to ask for. Mom and Dad was taking care of 8 kids, feeding, clothing, and 8 kids. So to ask for money to go to college, no. How am I going to do this myself? Well, I was already involved in wrestling. I mean, I was involved in football, wrestling, track and field. Those are my 3 sports. And a couple of my fellow teammates on the wrestling team, they had older siblings that upon high school graduation, they went into the military. And basically, you give up 4 years of your life in the military at that point, and then you can come back out and then go to college on the GI Bill. So that was actually kind of like option number 1. That's the route that I'll take. But then by my freshman/sophomore year, I had the first of college coaches that were looking at both my older brother Dave and myself as potential recruits to take to college. And so option number 2 came about. And I started to, take my amateur wrestling career even that much more serious, not just on a folk style basis, but then also in freestyle wrestling and Greco-Roman wrestling, just because I knew that just the sheer experience alone is going to make me just a better overall competitor. And I had to be at, I think, again, it was about my junior year. I happened to go to a tournament. I mean, up to that point, I was jumping I was doing different types of weight classes. I would be doing the 198-pound weight class, the 220-pound weight class, the heavyweight weight class. I had to go to a tournament. I go, The thing I was kind of noticing is that I wasn't seeing as many people at my weight class. There's actually was a wrestler, a very, very talented wrestler by the name of Andre Metzger, that he and I mean, we were friends, and we were always we had this ongoing competition between the two of us, even though he was a 150-pounder, in a much lighter weight class. It would always be between the two of us as to who's going to walk away with the most pins award trophy at each of these tournaments. And he was at a weight class that
stay in the left lane.
There were always there were more opponents than what I would have at the either 198 or 220 heavyweight weight class. And I'm like going, geez, how am I going to beat this guy? Because I was a hardware collector. I mean, it was great to know I was going to go to these tournaments. He might have 6, 7, 8 matches during the course of the day, and I might only have 3 or 4 people in my entire weight class, and then I end up only with 3 or 4 matches. I pin everybody, but then Andre walks away with the most pins award because he had more people. He might have some decisions of that, but he still pinned more people overall than what I did. So, so one particular tournament, I ended up signing up for the 198-pound weight class, the 220-pound weight class, and then the heavyweight weight class. Again, at that time, you could do that based on today's rules. No, you could not. And I did that for the junior age group. Junior age group meant for 18 years and younger, those 3 weight classes. But then I was allowed to also jump into the open age category, which is anything over 18 years of age. 3 weight classes again, 198, 220 heavyweight. So inside of a gymnasium, typically 3 mats takes up the whole floor space, and they might be numbered 1, 2, and 3. And I am Yeah, she has. Okay, still got 40 more miles before we make our next turn. I might be on mat number 1, and they might be calling me on deck in mat number 2, and I might be in the hole on mat number 3, which means that I'm actually wrestling on mat number 1. I'm on deck on mat number 2, which means there's a match already out on that mat, and I'm the next match that's going to be coming up on the mat. And if I'm in the hole on mat number 3, it means there's a match that's out there. There's another one that's on deck, and I'll be the third match coming on up. So they'll be making announcements like that to where I still could be on mat number 1 wrestling. And mat number 2 they'll simply announce Dan Severn must report to mat number 2. Once they make that announcement, a stopwatch starts. 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to report or automatic disqualification. So I could be on mat number 1 wrestling, and they're watching me. They're watching wrestling, and they got the stop clock going. And so I have to finish my match as quickly as I possibly can so I can get back over to mat number 2 before the 5 minutes is done. And that's what I was doing. So over the course, I mean, even at the weigh-ins, a couple of referees, I mean, they kind of like, you know, I don't think they really saw me notice them, but, you know, they were kind of be a little bit nonchalant, but they were kind of like, you know, thinking, you know, they make a little comical type of remarks that, you know, amongst themselves. And I'm thinking, we'll see, because they're like, but as that day was progressing on, more and more people started watching. They started taking notes because, I mean, I'm literally, I'm on mat number 1, and I'm walking, I'm going over to mat number 2, going back over to mat number 3. Sorry about that. And it just, by the time it was coming towards the end, you know, now I'm fighting, now I'm wrestling for the championships at this one. And so I'm walking, okay, I won this one. And okay, boom, I won this weight class. And now I won that weight class. So one day, 2 different age groups, 6 different weight classes, 17 matches later, I walked out of that gymnasium with 6 gold medals. And I had people, I mean, like various coaches and stuff like that, coaches and referees that were calling various college coaches. They were going to payphones, again, look that up, Google the payphone, for those that don't know what a payphone is, or even with a phone that used to have an attachment to the wall, but they were making phone calls and just saying it was incredible, but we didn't have the cell phone at that time to take footage of this or footage of that. It was just something that I did. And, you know, just walking from mat to mat, all I was doing was thinking I'd have whatever bottle of Gatorade / water / whatever I was drinking. I'd be trying to wet my whistle. I had a towel, wipe the sweat down off me, stuff like that, because you could not walk out onto the mat being all sweaty and that. And we'd go to the next match after match. Like I said, I didn't think I was doing anything special other than the fact that I was trying to gain attention with college coaches, because I was trying to fan these coals of option number 2 of maybe I don't have to go to the military and give up 4 years of my life. I will simply, you know, go to college right out of high school, and I'll do it on a full athletic scholarship. And that's literally what I ended up doing. I'll say that my investment into all the time and going to all these various tournaments paid off.
Andy wants to know, in your opinion, what's the most painful submission hold? That's a hard one to answer.
I'm gonna say that's Andy. You see people tapping left and right in all kinds of submission holds. So there's I could never even begin to say that. You know, I mean, I'll say this: being choked out, say unconscious. There's no pain on that aspect right there, because all it is cutting off blood flow. I remember at one time, I basically wanted to see what it felt like just once, just to know what it was all about, and it was there's nothing to it. You just proof you're gone.
Walter Johnson wants to know, in amateur wrestling, who was your toughest opponent?
I can't say just one, because I've had way too many amateur wrestling matches, and again, folk style matches, freestyle matches, and even Greco-Roman matches, that I can never say just one person, because I've gone up against Olympic champions, I've gone up against world champions, I've gone up against World Cup champions, Pan American champions. So there's a lot of them that deserve that right. It just all depends on where were you at in time. It's where some of the questions previously, when they say Dan Severn in your prime, the WWF career never saw me in my prime. The UFC era never saw me in my prime. So that will always still be the magical mystery, because these industries did not see me in my prime. My folk style, my freestyle, my Greco, that probably saw me in my prime.
Steve wants to know, is it true you were a police officer at one time?
No. Nope, never been in law enforcement. I've worked with law enforcement, corrections, air marshal, border patrol, and military. I worked with all different first responders. I'll say that. Sure, do I look like a cop? Yeah, I look like a cop because I got a mustache and I've got a Dudley Do-Right chin on me. So I kind of look like I definitely could be a cop. But no, I'm not.
Ronald wants to know, what was your favorite segment in WWE, whether it was a match or a behind-the-scenes thing?
Favorite segment? Wow. What I like about some of these do something else, but we're here, we're taking advantage of, we've got this time element that we're going to kill, and we could be, and we're doing this, it could be just idle conversation, it could be listening to music, but we're here, we're conducting an actual interview, and I'm just simply responding to just random folks that just have, quizzle type of questions about what I've done in that. I don't know. I mean, it's when you look at, I don't have very many lows in my life. I'm trying to milk every minute of the day where I'm not squandering it away. Hannibal has heard the expression from me on several occasions now. Now I'll say the expression again. Dan Severn will never run out of things to do. I'll never run out of projects. I'll never run out of things to do. I will eventually run out of time. I've got multitudes of projects that are either in the works. I mean, I've accomplished a lot, but I look at that. That's yesterday's news. That's yesterday's projects. What about today? Right now, we're heading down to Tucson, Arizona. We'll be down to Predator Fry. We'll be getting some more footage of that will be starting to promote this new podcast that Don and I are actively pursuing. And do we really know what we're doing? No, we don't. But we're flying by the seat of our pants, and I know that we're going to be successful. That's one thing that drives me forward. I know that. Did I do anything about judo when I walked down the first mat for competition? No. But did I have fear in it? Nope. I stepped down on that mat anyway. And I had nobody with me other than a judo coach that he didn't even know what I was going to do when I walked on onto that mat. So I don't know if I really answered the question. I don't even really remember what the original portion of the question was. I kind of went off into a tangent. That's what I hopefully the fans realize that I try to answer these questions as thoroughly as possible because I want them to try to understand a little bit more about what is the makeup of this individual. Because I try to find out what makes people tick. Why are some people successful and some people not? What does that successful person have that this person does not have? And people are pretty much the same the world over. It's just that, are you setting goals, and do you know how to achieve goals? And because a lot of people they set goals, but their goals are just wishful thinking. They're not setting true goals, and they're not implementing steps to achieve those goals. I drive down the road. I've got this sitting right on my dashboard right now because these are goals. These are aspirations. These are things I'm looking forward to bring to fruition. Will I get them all done? No, but I'll keep on moving forward.
I think the guy's question before we got off topic was there a particular WWE television segment that you enjoyed or remember as your greatest WWE TV segment?
No, not really. Again, I'll just say my career with the WWF in the beginning, I was used strong, very strong, and then the reins were pulled back. Why, I don't know. I can only speculate. And one of the speculations I've come up with is the fact that there was no control over Dan Severn. I had a very loose contract in the aspect that I could work for anybody, including WCW, ECW. Those two companies existed at that time. I was working with the NWA. NWA was exclusivity. UFC. At the age of that, I did not fit the norm. I had WWF. I really knew how old I was. They probably never would have took me on in the first place. But I did not really look my age or act my age. I was a physical specimen at the time. So again, I don't quite. Buddy, in the mic.